The length of segment PM is 2G plus 6. So I have PM, so that's from P to M is 2G plus 6. 2G plus 6. And it says the length of RS, so it doesn't have any of the same letters, so I'm going to make a new segment. We don't know exactly where it is. RS is 3G minus 5. Now remember, if this had PM and then MS, then I would have to use this M and continue with the S. But since it's all 4 different letters, that's 4 different points. For what value of G are the segments congruent? Magic word. What does congruent mean? Congruent means congruent. It has a symbol. The symbol for it is the squiggly with the equals underneath it. So that is the congruent symbol. It's kind of ugly. Should be longer. Squiggly with the equal under it. That means congruent, and that means same size, shape, measure. So same measures, same size, same shape. Okay, so if things are the same measure, then that means that they are equal to each other, right? So if 2 things are equal to each other, then that means you can put an equal sign in between them. So just take these 2 things and put an equal in between them. So I have a 2G plus 6 is equal to a 3G minus 5. So when you see congruent, that means put equals in between them. Equal between them. Okay, so I just have to do my algebra. So let's put Mr. Squiggly down the middle. That means I need, remember the first step you would see if you have to distribute or combine like terms, but remember there are no like terms. If I only look at one side at a time, look at just this side. Are either of those 2 like each other? Nope. One has a G, one does not. Look at the other side. Are either of these like each other? Nope. This one has a G and this one doesn't. So we have no like terms. So my next step is to get, I do have variables on both sides. I got G's over here and G's over here on both sides of Mr. Squiggly. So I'm going to get rid of one of them. I usually get rid of the smaller one because I don't like negatives. So the smaller G is the 2G. So I'm going to minus 2G from this side. And whatever I do, I have to do to the other side of Squiggly under his bestie, which happens to be right here. So I'm going to do some math here. I've got a 6 left on this side. 3 G's take away 2 G's gives me just a G, or a 1G, minus 5. Remember, I could have changed this to a plus negative also, so I make sure I don't mess up my negative signs. Okay, now what? A little bit more space. Remember, our next step is we want to get G all by itself. So we want to get rid of this negative 5. How do we get rid of a negative 5? We don't divide. We would divide if it was touching right here, but it's not. Instead, it's being, we need to add it to both sides. So plus 5 on this side and plus 5 on this side. Because negative 5 plus 5, put that in your calculator, you get nothing. So on this side, we end up with G. And on the other side, we have 6 plus 5 is 11. So our G is 11. So it's just said for what value of G are the segments congruent? G is 11. So if G was 11, they would be congruent. That means I could put an 11 here, an 11 here, and I would end up with the same number. 2 times 11 plus 6 better equal 3 times 11 minus 5. They should be equal. And they are.